My boyfriend and I have been together for about 2.5 years. We live together as of recently, 4 months-ish, and we get along pretty well. We have a lot of separate hobbies, and one of mine is hiking. I wouldn't call myself a peak bagger, but I do like to add mountain summits to my hikes when I can. BF doesn't enjoy hiking more than occasionally, so he rarely comes along. For reference, I am a 5'3", 150 pounds woman. He is a 5'7", 170 pounds guy. On Sunday I went for a long strenuous hike with my friends. If you're familiar, it's 13er James Peak in CO. It was a 9-mile, 3,000 feet elevation gain hike from where we started. I had a fun time and went home and did my usual workout, short run, weights, some light yoga, after. Suffice to say, I was pretty hungry by dinner time. I made dinner, which was grilled chicken with lots of grilled veg and some pasta salad as a side. When it came time to eat, because of my big day, I grabbed the bigger piece of chicken. We're talking a 5 ounces piece versus a 7 ounces piece. BF got upset about this when he saw my plate versus his place, and he made a pretty big deal out of it. He told me that there's no reason for me to serve myself such a big piece of meat, he's the guy and he should have it. I told him that I'd hiked and done my workout that day, and that he puttered around the house and went for a short, 5-mile run. He told me that growing up, he was always taught that the man got the biggest piece of meat because men need more to sustain themselves in general. I said that I agreed, but again, I'd climbed a mountain that day and burned much more than he did. He told me I should accept the good calorie deficit or load up on the pasta salad and veggies instead. We've been arguing about this for days, and he tagged some friends in and asked his parents, who said to keep them out of it, lol. So far people are split. Some believe even if he didn't do much that day, it's just weird for a woman to actively try to eat more than her boyfriend. I think that's stupid and outdated and comes from a time when men tended to do more physical labor in general. Am I the idiot? Is this just really dumb? Not the idiot. I always try to give DH the big portion of meat, and he always tries to give it to me. What kind of idiot argues over this? A real man would be making sure his lady got enough, not fretting he got shorted. IMO, your boyfriend seems to be from a different value system than you, and that could be a problem going forward. Who's going to be the primary caregiver if you have kids? Who's going to be responsible for which household duties? Is he going to do more than work, pay some bills and watch sports on TV? Not the idiot. It is true that in general, men typically need more calories in a day to sustain the same weight than women do. However, this amount is very small in comparison to the amount of calories you burn during a 9-hour hike. A quick Google search estimates that your boyfriend needs somewhere around 500 calories more than you in a day, but you burned about 3,500 calories during your hike. He is either misinformed or he has a misogynistic idea that being the man of the house means he should have the fullest belly. Not the idiot, and I'd be really worried about what kind of person feels the need to bring his friends and family into your argument. I was isolated from my ex's entire life because he shared every argument we had, big or small, to his friends, colleagues and family. No good stuff, only negative in the heat of the moment arguments. I became the butt of his friends' jokes, despised by his family and coworkers whom I'd never met. He only shared one side of the argument and of course I was presented as the villain of every story. Just be careful please. I, 23, had been transferred to a department since February with 12 men and only 2 women, me and another senior lady cat. In this department we were more like a big family than just colleagues as we are essential workers, make a guess, not telling, and it was everyone's company that kept us going through the busy nights, especially in times like this. I was the youngest and newest then, so the guys were very helpful and patient with me. One big guy Tom was very physically affectionate, and he loves to pat, hug, mock wrestle, squeeze cheeks, and lightly slap the younger staff on the back, including me. I don't mind Tom treating me like the guys, in fact I think that he is just a sweet cuddly bear, and sometimes I squeeze him back too. I never felt uncomfortable among the guys and I know they are all decent people. About a week ago we had one additional staff, another lady, Amy, 21. As you may have guessed from the title now, Amy got mad when Tom attempted to hug her, and when Tom realized that, he quickly apologized and mentioned that he thought she wouldn't mind because I didn't. Amy said something like this: "Just because dirty idiots love getting touched by guys doesn't mean all women do." Obviously I took it as an insult. I haven't done anything to Amy, and she straight up said that in front of all the guys. I was tired and I didn't want to start a fight, so I pretended I didn't hear it, but Amy kept yelling at Tom as he apologized profusely, with a few other guys trying to calm her down. Later on, Amy approached me and told me that she needed my help to report Tom for harassment, and she got Kat backing her up. Still tired and in a bad mood, I replied sarcastically, "Yeah, I shall report too, you for your foul language, and the guys will back me up because they heard what you called me." Amy got really upset at me because she assumed that all women should stand up to the men, but she got nerve wanting my help reporting my friend after insulting me out of nowhere. Kat told us to sort it out before leaving because she feels that she is too busy for drama, and Amy got angrier because now she has nobody to back her up, and she blames it on me. Just to be clear, I am not reporting anybody, too tired for that crap. Tom and Amy can sort it out between themselves, and I am not going to bother with either of them. Go on. Everyone's the idiot here. Tom's behavior is wildly inappropriate for the workplace, and HR should be putting a stop to it because it's a harassment lawsuit waiting to happen. Without the slur, Amy is kinda right. Just because you're okay with it, that doesn't mean everyone or even most people would be, and Tom should know better. His behavior is not appropriate for work. Full stop. But I don't support the slur, which is why my judgment stands as is. She had no right to call you that. Everyone's the idiot here. It was wrong of Amy to call you like that. Seriously, what's wrong with her? But are you sure she was talking about you and not talking in a general term? You shouldn't have reacted this way. She was asking for help, cause Tom made her uncomfortable. Yes, you're okay with Tom hugging and all, but that's not everyone's things. Especially if he doesn't ask for consent first. I'm gonna go with everyone's the idiot here. It seems a little ridiculous that she would call you a dirty idiot with no provocation, then expect your support. That part makes this almost feel like a troll. But he shouldn't be touching people in a pandemic, and just because you guys are used to him doesn't mean strangers have to be. Also, the other girl siding with the new girl makes me think his behavior isn't entirely innocent. You should just back your coworker's story with your account. Forget about how you feel for a second. My wife and I have been together since we first met in high school. We were able to maintain a long-distance relationship throughout college and stayed true to each other. I truly thought we were inseparable. She gave birth to a boy 12 years ago, and since then things changed drastically. My son unfortunately has behavioral problems, and it's been very difficult raising him. He throws temper tantrums, gets in trouble in school frequently, refuses to listen to my wife and I. As a result, my wife and I started having disagreements about how we should handle him, i.e. whether to punish more, let him get his anger out, etc. This created a wedge between us that kept getting wider. We both resorted to drinking more and wanting to be away from each other as much as possible to get some relief. We started having more arguments, and eventually it became so obvious that our marriage was deteriorating that family members started questioning it. So the topic of divorce came up and we both decided to go through with it. When I first told my son about it, he cried endlessly, then started throwing fits about how unfair it was. I completely understand that a divorce is hard on any child, but the intensity of his fits kept growing. Since my wife and I are separated, not yet divorced, and because she can't tolerate our son that much, we agreed that he gets to spend most of the week with me unfortunately, so I see him a lot, and have to put up with his yelling far more than she does. Last Friday he started asking if my wife and I forgave each other, and I told him that the divorce is happening like it or not. He starts crying and I got mad and told him, "Buddy, want to know why we are getting divorced? Because of you. We were happy before you were born, but you always act bad and get in trouble. So stop arguing with me when you caused it, you have nothing but yourself to blame. This devastated him and I did apologize, but I told him there was some truth to what I said. However, since then he's been more quiet and behaved. Even my wife, who was with him over the weekend, said he was much better. So yes, I think I am the idiot for telling him he was the reason we are getting divorced, but in some ways I don't think I am because maybe it was just something he needed to hear. You are the idiot. Why didn't you seek professional help for your son when nothing you tried worked? Why did you two not formalize a plan together so that the parenting was consistent from both parents? How and why did you let 12 years go by without formal interventions? Your marriage deteriorated because you and your wife stopped working on your marriage. You two avoid each other and drink because you two didn't want to sit down and work on the issues. You two chose to let the whole parenting thing drive a wedge between you two. I really hope this is fiction. You are the idiot, he is 12. Have you two as his parents had him assessed or sent him to counseling, etc.? Honest to God, this is disgusting. Realistically, if you were both unable to communicate and make decisions about your kid together, that is on you, and is ultimately the reason for the divorce. Get your crap together and start helping your kid. You are the idiot. My kid has behavioral problems. We've done nothing to help him, but we argue over who is right because neither of us had the intellectual capacity to seek outside help from a professional, either for us or for our son. So since we're stubborn and dumb, we're getting divorced, but it's totally the kid's fault and not ours, and I made sure he knows it. That's you. I've been dating my girlfriend for 4 years, living together for 1 year now. We're both 26. Our relationship has been great for the most part, but I noticed that since we moved in together, my girlfriend has been talking more and more about having children. Her Pinterest is filled with stuff about baby clothes, nursery decorating and raising kids, as well as tons of wedding stuff. She follows a lot of family accounts on Instagram. She would once in a while send me videos of kids and say, "Lol, this is totally our future kid." I was very adamant that I wanted to wait until we could afford a house, pay off some debts and establish our careers before getting married, and then we would have kids. She just finished her master's and I finished physiotherapist school and would love to start my own physiotherapy business in the future. She always agreed that we weren't ready for kids, but it was obvious she had intense baby fever. My girlfriend is on birth control and takes the Depo-Provera shot every 3 months. 3 days ago my girlfriend tells me that she's 2 months pregnant and she just found out. I was absolutely shocked. Honestly, I suggested an abortion at this point, but my girlfriend was adamant against it and said she was pretty excited for the baby and was mad I was even suggesting abortion. So honestly, I did accuse her of intentionally getting pregnant because it honestly just made the most sense. She was acting so excited like it was planned. Her past behavior showed she was looking forward to a baby, and I never followed up to make sure she was getting all her shots. She had been on the same form of birth control our entire relationship with barely a pregnancy scare, and suddenly she's pregnant? When I accused her of getting pregnant on purpose, she got mad at me and said she would have never done that, and she knows that it isn't the perfect time to have a child, and she's been getting all her Depo shots, but God had other plans, and we could make it work. I again accused her of lying, and this was just too much of a coincidence. We argue back and forth and she gets really angry and runs away to her mom's house. She then texts me a picture of a receipt for her most recent Depo shot 9 weeks ago, with the caption, "You are a freaking idiot." She blocked me and refuses to respond to any of my messages. I already apologized many times, but I honestly don't think I was the idiot to question her intentionally getting pregnant. From my point of view, it made sense. I really hope we can make this work, but am I really the idiot here, when looking at my perspective of the situation? You are the idiot big time here. Just because she has always dreamed of a mom doesn't mean she would undermine your trust and sabotage your current life plans. Do you not trust her as a person at all? Considering that she's open about wanting kids, it makes sense that she would want to keep an oops baby, because in her mind it just changed the timing, not the occurrence. You are the idiot and you already know it. You were the idiot from the moment you didn't wear a condom, since you were so against having a child, and you've only gotten worse. Frankly, you don't sound ready to be a father. You're not showing the capacity for caring for another person or taking responsibility for yourself, let alone a child. I hope, for the sake of the baby, she doesn't return. It seems it would be in the child's best interest if you didn't try for custody. You are the idiot. All the things you listed your girlfriend does that you think proves this was intentional are normal things 26-year-old women do. She just finished school, you guys just moved in together, she's thinking about the future. Does that mean she ignored every conversation you guys have had about the future and decided to make the having a child decision for you? Absolutely not. I, 21, am still living with my ex, 28, due to reasons that don't really matter. He has a daughter, who is 4, I really adore her. My ex has never been a great dad, which is one of the reasons we broke up. She usually stays at home some days and then stays with her mom, she spends most days with her. A day ago I came home late after being at a friend's house, it was safe, I promise. It was around 2-3 a.m. and my ex was at his man cave playing on his box. I thought A would be sleeping, but I heard a sound coming from her room, so I went to check in and she was a disaster. She had thrown up all over herself, her bed and the floor, she had diarrhea and was all dirty and crying. I am not great with children at all, I'm an only child, never had cousins, my friends don't have kids, so I don't know how to handle it. I went to look for my ex and asked about it, but he was too busy with his video games. I went back to A's room and helped her get clean and did my best to calm her down, while I called her mom to ask what I should do. She was obviously mad and we don't know how long A was in that mess. As I didn't know how to handle it and A was still complaining of her tummy hurting, we decided it was better to take her back to her mom's home. Her mom doesn't have a car, so I drove her there since it was really late. I told my ex that I was going to take A to her mom's home a few times, and he didn't pay attention to me, he didn't even say goodbye to her. Once I came back, he was extremely mad, saying I stepped in and should have waited for him to finish his game, screaming at me, same as always. I now feel super guilty as I'm not A's mom and don't have any true rights. Her mom was really grateful, but I don't know if I did the right thing or if I was wrong and I'm really confused. Am I the idiot? Update. As currently in the hospital as she was still in lots of pain and things are not good at home. I will be replying to everyone later. I didn't expect this to get that much attention. I ended up having appendicitis, but she will be fine. As I had said, things got really bad with my ex and I've been driving around all day. I'll see if I get to stay with a friend tomorrow once he goes to work. Thank you to everyone for the replies and private messages, my brain is somehow still confused. I saw some of the private messages, but it's really late, so I'll try to reply to everyone tomorrow. Please use your money to get yourself something nice or for charities, instead of sending it to me. I'll try to keep everyone updated. Update, a lot has happened, and I don't really know how to start. As okay, which is the most important. She was super scared, but we can say she is doing well as of now. I had a talk with her mom as everyone suggested, I will be on her side and speak in favor of her when they fight for custody. As of today, my ex can see A, but someone has to be there. He still wants full custody of her and went crazy when he found out I won't be on his side. I took everyone's suggestions and got out of that place. I'm currently staying with a friend, I didn't tell him who, and all of my friends have helped me a lot through this. As I will testify, I can't stay with A's mom or babysit A, but we keep in touch through phone calls. That's all I have for now, I guess. Thanks to everyone that reached out. Not the idiot. The whole I'm not her mother thing doesn't actually matter in this case. You gave your ex the opportunity to step in and take care of his ill child, who he was already ignoring, and he blew you off because video games are more important to him. You did the right thing and called her mother, the other half of the parenting dynamic. She asked you to bring her child so she could tend to A. You told your ex multiple times and he couldn't be bothered enough to care. You did the right thing, OP. Not the idiot. As a CPS emergency response investigator, I've had similar calls like this. Children can easily aspirate on their own vomit, and she could have ingested feces or gotten it in her eye area causing infection. The least he could have done is check on her if she wasn't feeling well or positioned himself to where he could easily see or hear her. Not the idiot. If you were up for it, I would reach out to A's mom and offer to make a statement in a custody hearing, or make a report to whatever family services are relevant to you. What happened was not safe and not okay. Thank goodness you did what you did. That poor child's health and safety were in danger and much more important than any video game. Just FTR, I am a gamer and a parent. His behavior was so far out of line.